And we are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jedi the Mailman, the show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. That's Jimmy the Jedi. Follow him on all the socials. I'm Mike the Mailman. Don't bother following me, but do follow Explore the Force. Those guys are pumping out some awesome content. Like today, amazing interview with Lydia Kang. I I'm just flabbergasted with the guests you guys pull, man. It's amazing. And the time that woman is a doctor, she teaches, she sees patients, she writes. Where does she find time to fit in and explore the force?
I we I don't know if you could tell in the interview, I was so nervous. Like
Mm,
she's like meeting a rock star for me. I love that book. It's probably my favorite book in the entire series because of the effects it had on me. Like just the
mm,
way, you hear it in the podcast. I tell her that story.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
laughing pretty hard about,
Hmm.
and then you should see her face in the video. We'll put it up to YouTube here. I'm hoping like today or tomorrow or
Yeah,
Thursday, but she was just cracking up.
yeah.
And yeah, we were super fortunate. I had actually reached out to her right as Cataclysm had come out. Of course,
Mm,
they're kind of busy, so for us not being massive, I think it helps to like kind of wait a little bit
yeah,
and things kind of die down a little bit for them, and like we have some people come in, but it's amazing to get to talk to them,
yeah.
and she I don't know. I've just been like fascinated by her because of all the stuff she does,
Mm,
and just I mean, and she's super sweet. She's super nice.
yeah,
Just loved it. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
it was really cool, and
Hmm.
we've got a few more lined up. We hope trying to track a few more
Awesome.
down. Um,
Yeah, I've said it
and
before. It's just amazing that these are big time people that you guys are getting on that show, and they're not. They don't put on airs at all. They're not snobby or
that's
jerks or anything like that. They just love what they do, and the passion comes out in the interviews. It's phenomenal. It's
yeah,
really
that's
great.
been the best part of this is we've met a lot of cool people and
Yeah.
we've got things lined up for the future. We're trying to spread some of the interviews and stuff out because like we want to talk Star Wars too, but
Hmm.
um in the our plan at Explore the Force for our big show is like to get them to come back and like let's just talk Star Wars with them sometime.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh
love
yeah, that'd
deep
be great.
into them.
Hmm.
Their book had been out for a while, so I mean people knew it. If they're gonna read it, they probably read it. Um, but we want to get to know them, see how see their journey in Star Wars, and
Hmm.
then hopefully get them back on when they do more because she kind of hinted that she's got more irons in the fire for Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Very excited. I may have guessed something because she kind of got tight-lipped.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
but
I kind of
but
heard that in the
yeah, I
interview.
was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I was just joking with her, and she didn't say anything like because
No.
we always promise our guests we're never going to ask any questions that are going to
Mm,
put you on the spot, and
right.
if you don't want to answer because those aren't live, so we can cut them and we can delay,
Mm,
do stuff with them. But yeah, it was awesome. She was
yeah.
awesome. I hope we get to see her again. I hope we get to see her in Japan. Um, that would be cool. And
Yeah.
she seems like
Absolutely.
legit, just like a nice lady. And then she just, just
Hmm.
up the road in Nebraska. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, so it's pretty fun
Yeah.
interview. You should check it out. Like, I mean, I know it's self-serving to tell you to check it out on the podcast, but
Yeah.
so the YouTube will come up, and we had Marie with us too. And
Mhm.
like you told me today in the text, like you guys didn't introduce Marie, she was just all of a sudden there. I was like, yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about it. But we're just so used to having her on the show. It was like she's just
Yeah.
part of the crew with us,
Mhm.
and
And she did a great job. I mean,
yeah, she knocked it out of the park. And
mhm.
it's complicated interviewing somebody with three different people
Oh, for sure. I mean,
because like
it's
we have a list, we're all looking
mhm.
at. You can see our eyes like kind of
Yeah.
darting off to our other areas and stuff because we have our list, and but then sometimes like I'm terrible at asking questions. I don't know if you see this. I just can't get to the point. I know this,
Mm.
folks. Like I'm one of those few people who know like my flaws. Like I know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm trying really hard to fix them. But I cannot get to the point of a question. I'm trying to be like articulate and intelligent, and I just sound like a big dummy. And
There was the one question you went on and on and on, and she's like,
yeah,
"Okay, you asked
what
two
was
questions there,"
yeah?
and
And then she just
she pulled it out. She knew what you
yeah,
were
she
talking
just
about.
dissected
So
it for me. I was like, thank you for
yeah,
saving me,
yeah,
Dr. Lydia King. So that was pretty awesome.
yeah.
but I am working on it, and I also am working on finishing my thoughts. So I get so wound up sometimes that I just
Oh,
jump
I
all over
know.
the place.
It's yeah,
So,
it's tough.
but
Especially, I'm sure it would be a lot easier sitting down face to face with someone doing an interview. Because I know just you and I talking on here, we end up talking over each other and stuff like that. You get a third person on here, then you get more and more dead time,
yeah,
and it's tough over this. It's nice that we have the ability to do this because
yeah,
we talk over the country, but yeah, it's
yeah.
has
Pretty
its
fun.
drawbacks.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe we'll get some interviews with her from Celebration in April. That would be
Yeah.
pretty. So hopefully
Yeah,
that'll
I'm
be
looking forward to see what you guys pull out of that. Like, I'm sure there's a
I
ton of
have an
cool
extra
stuff that you
ticket,
guys
Mike.
can.
So if you want to
Yeah,
come,
well,
you just got to pay for your airfare and you get the Airbnb with us. It wouldn't really be that expensive. I mean, if you take a
yeah,
look at how like our money and like the standard where like what the dollar is to the yen,
yeah,
I mean, it getting over there is the most expensive part.
right, right.
We start diving into that stuff pretty soon.
Mm,
We have a friend over there, Yukuri, and we're trying to work it out so he can come on and kind of teach us some things and
yeah,
stuff like that too. But um, probably the most expensive part of the trip is getting that
mm,
flight. I
yeah.
mean, like $1,300 to $1,500
Hmm.
just to
Hmm.
fly over.
And it's
Um,
torture. Man,
well, that's a
flying
long
that
flight.
far is torturous.
Yeah. So
I've flown to Italy. I think that's the longest flight I've ever
when you're in
taken,
the
and
Navy,
that's a long. Yeah, when I was in the Navy. Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah. Flew
right.
from
Well,
Washington State to Ireland, and then down to
yeah,
Italy.
that's a
That was a
haul.
long
You have flew
flight.
from the
Yeah,
other side of the country. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah. All right.
yep,
That's a bit of a flight. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah. How's your week been?
Not bad, not bad. Had a day off today, so just kind of like I was telling you, the weather spiked again. We had some nice weather, so it's gotten hot again. So I have a list of stuff that I got to get done, but I
It's too hot
just
outside to
chilled
do
today.
anything.
Yeah.
We gotta,
So I did about nothing today.
yeah. Well, we had to get up most of the sports. Kansas, well, obviously we're pretty hot out here, and we have these different levels based on the temperature, the humidity, and the wind speed. And if you're
Mm,
in level 5, and there's no outdoor activities, right? So
yeah.
yesterday we hit level 5. Today we hit red, but it was just underneath the 5, so we stayed inside. But we have to get up in the morning, so we're getting up at 4:40, meeting those kids. We're meeting our football team, who is like one of the best in the state every year for the last, like, since I've been
Yeah.
here for like, I think going on 15 years. They've been in like the
Mm,
state championships. So like we're getting up and we're debating like which is worse, like having to get up and go run, having to get up and go hit some, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's a terrible time for kids to have to get up
yeah.
and do anything really, and
Yeah.
adults to get up and be like, "Yay, let's go team!"
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but we're all out
Hard
there.
to get motivated that early.
Those kids are grinding on the football
Good.
team. And I know the tennis was out there getting after it up at the
Yeah.
tennis courts. I mean, it's impressive what these young people can do when they really
Mm-hmm.
put their minds to it. Um,
Yep.
and all the coaches that sacrifice and get up, my hat's off to them because I do it most of the
Yeah.
season, so I get
Mm-hmm.
it. But yeah, it's been real brutally hot here. We think tomorrow might be the last day, and we might get a little bit cool, a little bit of a dip. We'll be down in
Yeah.
the high 90 or high 80s.
Yeah, that's
So
what it looks like here too. I mean, not. I mean, it's supposed to drop off significantly. Hopefully this is the last blast of summer, and we get into some nice fall temperatures again. Because, like I said, I got a lot of things to do before winter.
oh yeah, the list keeps growing. So
Hmm.
my list is going to stop because of something I bought today, though. So
Oh, did you?
we could probably dive into that first.
Let's dive into that.
All right. So I didn't buy it for the 3-day early access. So I got Star Wars Outlaws today, and it just worked out that I was in meetings. So during my lunch break, I shot over to our GameStop. I like a hard copy. I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
I ran over there. It would have been easier not to get it, but I went over there. I bought that a couple days ago or a week or two ago. I pre-ordered it because you got two DLCs right off the bat, and you got the season pass automatically. And because there's something coming in like November, December time period. Then there's something
Mm,
coming in like April, May, I think, DLC stuff. So that's
yeah.
pretty cool. Um, so I just went ahead and prepaid for that. Got a little bit cheaper, I guess. Then you got it for 3 days, the gold edition or whatever.
Right.
And so I got that uploaded, went back to my meeting, did that, did a little bit of practice. I left my assistant coach there because he knew what I had. And I was like, yeah, go. So I got home and I got an hour and a half or so, 2 hours in. It's hard playing video games as an adult because there's all these other things you should be doing.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
like guilt, I was talking to Molly, and I was like, it kind of sucks. Like the guilt kind of takes away some of the enjoyment.
It
Like,
does.
yeah, I'm like
Hmm.
sitting, I just can't sit there and play and not, how when we were kids, you just play video games. Like that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Like you just,
Hours. Yep. Exactly.
but I like it. I enjoy it.
Mhm.
It doesn't suck. It's not
Yeah.
the best game I've ever played. Uh, I wrote down some dislikes. I'll start with those. I only have a couple of those. It's kind of sluggish right now.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really flow super well. Cutscenes to like some of the maneuvers when you throw your thing up. Um, and I don't know if that's the stuff that needs to be worked because this was certified gold in early August, so it means it was
Okay.
ready. It was ready to come out. I
Yeah.
know a lot about gaming. I had to look that up, but it meant it was ready to come out, ready to play. So I expected it to be real seamless and
Smooth.
flawless.
Hmm.
It was not,
Hmm.
but it wasn't so bad that you couldn't play it.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not a very good gamer. Obviously, we're almost 50, and
Hmm.
some of these games are getting beyond us. But
Yes.
I didn't feel like I knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
Like,
That always throws me. Like a good game to me, I can just grab the controller without reading anything, and like it's intuitive. You know what I mean? You just
yeah, some
when
of
I
the
struggle.
buttons.
Mhm.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just gonna say when I struggle, it kind of loses the enjoyment for me. You know?
Yeah, and I think that was part of it a little bit. Is like I don't want tutorial to death, but
Right.
like a little bit of stuff would help. And like I didn't feel like buttons were working, and it didn't like sometimes you had to you had to hit it and release it, or you had to hold it, and it was just
Mm.
I'm not real clear on those buttons yet as far as what
Hmm.
they do. So that was a little bit the tutorial. Like you have to use those data sticks, and I still don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Hmm.
I'm still opening doors somehow, but it didn't really. It doesn't feel like I'm doing it. I just feel like I'm just hitting buttons and things are happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'll watch some videos, probably
Hmm.
tomorrow when kids are doing their assignments or something. But my like, and that's really it for my dislikes. I know lots of weird people are mad because K isn't as pretty as the actress that plays her or something like
Hmm.
that. Like these video gamers are complaining that they dumbed her down or saying that it's woke.
Oh my
I don't.
God.
I was
Is
just
everything woke? Does everything have to
apparently
be woke?
apparently if you're awake, everything's woke. So
Okay.
I don't think people understand what woke means. The actress Humberly, I liked her
Hmm.
Instagram. I mean, she's beautiful. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
doubt. She looks like a model.
Hmm.
Um, and in the cutscene, she looks one way, and they kind of like. But I mean, like, that's the cutscenes. Those are all the things that they like mocapped her on, and
Yeah.
I it just I saw it
Well.
pop up today. Talking to some of the younger, like my assistant who's younger than me, he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "That's always a big deal in video games when they do stuff like that to like the women in the video games." And it's kind of like it sounds kind of like a little pervy,
Yeah.
like they're mad that she's not like this super. I'm like, just get into the character and
Yeah.
play the game, you
Right.
weirdos.
Do our
So
do our video game characters need to be smoking hot? Like,
it's like I'm
yeah.
like, what is happening? And so I didn't dislike. I thought it was fine. Like
Uh-huh.
felt like a Star Wars character to me. Nyx is. I want a stuffed Nyx. Like I need one of those. I hope they make like a Lego or something of him. He was
Yeah.
awesome. The game is beautiful.
Hmm.
Just you feel like as soon as you wake, your scene happen. Well, the opening cut scene happens, and there's some characters that they're introducing, and that felt like Star Wars. And then you wake up and you're in this, you're in your room or whatever. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything because Jack and I will talk about this on Sunday if he ever gets
Yeah.
it to work on his PC. But um, it's beautiful and it feels like
Yeah.
Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars. There's aliens and there's humans and there's gang, and you're on Canto Bight. It looks like to start off with. It really felt like Star Wars. I got myself off that planet, kind of did like the cold open, like
Hmm.
here comes the beginning, and then you got the big Outlaws symbol pop up, and
Yeah.
you kind of made it.
Hmm.
And I got on the speeder bike, and uh, that was a little rocky. It's not real fluid, but that's also could
Hmm.
be me too. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a
Not a
super good
gamer,
gamer.
like you said.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I don't want to put all that on the game. Like, if I'm playing a month from now and I still
Hmm.
can't do things smoothly,
Right.
I still may not be on the game. Uh, but the story is really fun so far. It seems a smidged forced to me, like just kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but I'm only at the beginning of it, so I don't wanna be like, "Oh, this sucks," like,
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, and I think that it'll play out, and I mean, I've 1% into the game, so I don't really
Yeah.
know much.
Yeah.
Some of the storylines, some of the cliche, but, that's how you tell stories is you drive. You gotta get these characters, they're pushed out into the
Hmm.
world, stuff like that, but,
Hmm.
some flashbacks pretty early in. That was fun. I'm definitely excited to get into this. Like this weekend, we have the long weekend.
Yeah.
We have the teachers football draft this weekend. We're still working on a Explore the Force one, teaming up with possibly some people on another group that they're looking for people too. So we may have like a
Cool.
little podcast.
All
So
good.
I'll let you guys know that if anyone's interested out there in the Explore the Force world, let us know. We need to do it quick if we're going to do it. Probably have
Yeah.
to do it on the
Time's
draft. But
running
anyways,
short.
game's fun. It's worth the buy. I think it has tons of potential.
Mhm.
I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm like 1% into the game. Barely gotten started. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game. I'm excited to play it when I can just be like, all right, I don't have anything I got to do right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
prepping for show.
Get
This
lost in
show
it a little bit.
school, had meetings all
Hmm.
day today, so I'm like kind of worried about what tomorrow's gonna be like at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I recommend it so far. It's not cheap. Like I paid like
Hmm.
it was like $120 for the game, and I was like, that
Yeah.
is nuts. If you're
Yeah.
not super into gaming, it might not be worth. It might be worth waiting until it goes, starts to dip.
Yeah.
Um, but if you buy it Friday, it's like a typical 65 $70 game, which
Yeah.
still is nuts. I
A
mean,
lot. Yeah. Well,
but
everything's expensive now.
I just don't understand. But
Yeah.
yeah, I liked it so far. We'll have more to say about it. Jack and I will have more to say about it on
Yeah.
Sunday. He's having some issues with his internet and being where he works, like because he lives on base and stuff. Like the
Hmm.
internet is kind of fighting him. So
Hmm.
he's trying to work that out. But I'm sure he'll get it sorted and
Yeah.
he'll be rock and roll. So, but yeah, overall, I've liked it the first hour and a half, 2 hours that I've played it. I'll
Cool.
probably what I usually do when I play, and we can move on from it after this, is I usually play for like an hour or two. Once I
Mhm.
finally get the, and then I start it over, and that way I can just
Oh.
play the game a little bit smoother, and I might find things I
Yeah.
didn't see the first time. I don't want to get too far into the game, but I
Yeah.
like to kind of
Cool.
get my feet underneath me. It's weird, and then I'll come back around and I'll play it a second
Yeah.
time just from there, and it just feels like it's a better and smoother start. Like I know what I'm
That
doing.
makes
It just
sense. Yeah.
feels just that's just kind of how I get around it. I just felt
Yeah.
lost playing. You mix a lot. You get
Now
to
I look forward
use
to checking it out.
yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait till around Christmas time. Like
Yeah,
I'm a I game one game at a time. So like I still on Jedi Survivor. I beat it a couple weeks back. Oh, where'd you go, Jimmy? I'm still on. So I beat it a couple weeks back, and then I like to go in and finish the game, get it 100%. So I'm going back and grabbing all the things that I missed along the way and whatnot. But here he comes.
my computer.
He
I
dropped out again.
apologize. Yeah, I try to
All of a
open
sudden,
up
my
something
face is real big on there. Scary.
trying to open up other stuff and it just is doing some weird things to I apologize everybody. This hasn't happened before. I've been having a weird time. Everything I had ready for school today, all the
Hmm.
links were wrong for the kids, stuff I haven't used in years.
Hmm.
So I don't know what was
Hmm.
going on. That's if I fall off again, just keep on keeping on and I'll be
Ad
back
lib.
quick as possible.
Sounds good.
Jeez.
So before we move on here, uh, we wanted to promote a thing. Our friend is raising money to prevent veteran suicide. I mean, it's a big deal. Jimmy was in the Army. I was in the Navy. Our friend Mike, who's doing this fundraiser, he was in the Navy as well. And then Jimmy's partner Jack, he's in the British Army. So we're all veterans, and Jack's still serving. So uh, it's a big deal. These, especially nowadays, these guys coming back from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, coming back with some really hard times. You come back to a country where jobs can be hard to find, things change. Like it's rough. And a lot of these guys are having a lot of trouble, and anything they can, anything you can do to give to help out, um, it'll make a difference. So, I don't know, is Mike on there tonight? Do we have a list
I
if he's
haven't
on?
seen him yet, so but what
Well,
we'll
we'll
do
try to
is
get the
if I
information
can get
up.
the links, if I can get the links, I will from Mike, I will
Yeah, for sure.
put them on this, and then maybe we can push out some posts about it. But yeah,
Hmm.
for sure, I want to help out, and you know, I never had to see any action. I know
Nor I.
you guys, so I
I
mean,
mean, I served overseas, but I was on an aircraft carrier far removed from anything that was going on. So,
yeah, we'll get some stuff out there and show those men and women that we appreciate their
mhm,
sacrifices for us. So
absolutely.
it does take a toll on them and their families.
Absolutely. So that's our good deed for the day.
Yeah, but yeah, folks, we'll get that information out to you, um, and we'll let you know where you can donate. But I think we're ready to kind of move into our main topic tonight.
Yeah. Although I did want to bring up one thing real quick. I
Yes,
know
sir.
last week we beat the Acolyte to death, but listening to the Daily Planet yesterday, and
Mhm.
they brought up an interesting point. With Disney, when these shows aren't doing well now, sometimes they're just axing them. They're gone. Like
Yeah.
Willow, they brought that out, didn't do well, and it's gone. Like nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen again. Would Let's say they do that with the Acolyte, disappears. How would you feel about that?
I mean, okay. So when they did it to Willow, I didn't really like Willow. I didn't think it was very
Yeah.
good.
I
Um,
didn't get to see it. I wanted to
it
check it out, but now it's gone and I
wasn't
can't.
acting was anyways. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very good, and I was still disappointed though because I never finished it. I was going to. I mean, Willow was one of my favorite movies growing up. I still watch it every
Yeah.
once in a
Yeah. I have fond
while.
memories of that. Yeah.
But Acolyte, to take that down, I mean, that's canon now. I mean, to take
Well,
that and like decanonize it, I mean, I know that there's idiots out there who are against it and they think they won or whatever. We've done it. Like I
mhm,
know people much larger than us have podcasts. It was we've done it. We've beaten Disney and blah 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 and all this stuff. And if you pull that down, and I know there's stuff because other companies have been doing it. They've been shelving things to save
mhm,
money. If you
mhm,
do that, then Disney are cowards. I mean, if you believe in what you're putting out there, then they should stick to. And they should have done that to Willow. Willow was a money saving tactic, and that's all it
yeah.
was. Nothing to do with
Yeah.
anything else. And that's the only reason they would do it to the Acolyte. Because I think this stuff is back up on Disney's .com, the store or whatever. I think you
Yeah.
can Acolyte stuff again. But yeah, I'd be kind of mad if they did it
Yeah.
because like I want to watch. Like I was thinking about like what episodes would I rewatch? I'd go 1, 2, 5, and then probably 8.
Yeah.
7, 8
Yeah.
probably actually. 1, 2, 5, 7, and 8. I mean, that's the majority of the show that I thought was pretty good.
Hmm.
Good
Hmm.
storytelling. I just don't need to see 3 is just, the silly back flat or
Yeah.
flashback, sorry. And then 4 is just setting up 5.
Hmm.
So but I'd watch those episodes over and over again. Makes me want to get
Yeah.
bootleg copies downloaded on my computer real quick.
Right.
Not, I will
No,
do
I
that. I'll give you my money.
no, I do agree with you there. I mean, I don't want to a lot of these things, I'll tell you, like when I watched The Walking Dead, it was on regular TV and you had to watch week to week. The only reason I stopped watching is because I missed one week. I couldn't watch it on Sunday, and then you could stream it like the next day, but then if you didn't get to it by Tuesday or Wednesday, it was gone. So
Yeah.
I missed one week. I couldn't watch it, and it was gone. Like I'm just out of the loop now, so I quit watching the series. Whereas what I love about streaming is if I can't get to something right away, it's there for me.
Yeah.
I can go watch it whenever. So I like that, that aspect of it. But on the flip side, well, just to expand on that point too, if it's left out there, there's more people who have a chance to discover it. Maybe it grows, maybe, fingers crossed, it gets enough exposure and something, they decide down the road to do a season 2. But then
Yeah.
on the flip side, if honestly, if they're never going to do another season, like if it's just going to hang out there and just be this weird one season, I'd almost like to see it go uncanonized and let it go to books. Continue all that stuff in books, redo it in the way that some novelist wants to do it, and make the books canon.
Yeah.
Just so the story can continue, because it's weird just having it out there just hanging, and that you're
Yeah. I
never
mean,
gonna.
I think like I think that RFB or Imperial Activity, also known as RFB, just showed up. Thanks for coming, buddy. We appreciate you. We've already talked about Outlaws. I gave it a thumbs up for the hour and a half, 2 hours I played it. More to come, this next podcast, I think. But I feel like, and I don't know if I agree with it or not, the way Acolyte ended, but supposedly they felt like that ended that chapter, that story, right? So I mean, technically, there's lots of things out there, like what happened, like Kenobi's the path and all these different things, and
Mhm.
those characters we met. Like we don't get another Kenobi series. It's a one
Mhm.
and done as well. I mean, we weren't promised anything more, but we weren't promised
No,
anything more from the Acolyte either.
no, we
It just
weren't.
really set up as another season.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
we wanted it, well, some of us wanted, not everyone, in all fairness. Um, but even some of the people I see that didn't like it also say, "Well, man, they do have some good lines." But I would be fine with it staying. Those are some episodes I'd go back just to watch, like the fighting
Mhm.
in. Like I
Mhm.
love the first Fu and the saber
Yeah.
battle
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
episodes. So those are some rewatchable episodes for me, I
Mhm.
think. And I would be kind of bummed, and I would honestly would feel like that they were. You told me we both listen to other podcasts, and you said to listen to, and I mentioned this on the other show, but
Yeah.
Jennifer Landa's
Mhm.
thing, about representation and things like that. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like that show. Like I got into a fight with someone online, not as Explore the Force, but as myself. The show
Mhm.
was racist. I'm like, well, how was the show racist? Like it was real weird. And I've only been arguing with people who I feel are like lying about the show.
Mhm.
So I've been like, the actors are defending, like some of the actors are like, oh, you're racist if you didn't like it or whatever. But I'm like, that's not the show being racist,
Right.
like it's real weird, like this, how people don't think about the stuff that they're saying and how they're saying
Yeah.
it. Um,
Yeah.
so I hope it stays. So, but who knows? It's a business as well. Dad
Yeah. Yeah.
Vader's
Yeah.
here. Dad Vader. So
Yeah, that was. I mean, my only point was, if it went away, and it could just be recanonized in book format, because sometimes it's not worth bringing things that you love as a book or you loved as a cartoon into live action. It just doesn't work, you
yeah.
know. So the High Republic's been great, in the novels and whatnot. Maybe it just isn't ready for prime time. Maybe it should just stay in a novelization world realm. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was
There's good.
actually,
I mean,
if I would have had that one-on-one with Lydia Kang, like some of the things I wanted to be
mm,
asked her, I was like, "Would you want to see this live action? What would you want one of yours?" Because like she's writing stuff for Star Wars Insider right now,
yeah.
and it would be a really easy way to like bring the High Republic, and it wouldn't even include half. I mean, it's just about these two people that are on this mission, and the things that they're talking about kind of tell you like that you could do that,
Hmm.
um, and not really spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Real simple. We could kind of give the time period. You can kind of give it what's going on.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think there's potential there. But yeah, you're right though, because like some things, we've talked about the Dragonlance series before and how they like
Mhm.
refuse to sell that stuff. Those
Yeah.
those stories that we loved as kids,
Hmm.
supposedly they were like, no way, you can't have it. Which I think it would
Yeah.
be with today's
Oh
dragons.
yeah. Could be
Oh my
amazing.
god, yeah, it would be.
Hmm.
They would just
But
they would put in. I don't know. I would be fearful because of what they did to like or the Wheel of Time and things like that. They just kind
I
of.
don't. I'm enjoying the Wheel of Time. Honestly,
What
I
was
I
the one on
enjoy it.
MTV? It was like Shannara or something like that.
Hmm.
Shannara. It was all this like real pretty people. They
Yeah.
just
I don't know. I don't
and
know.
it was like it was really poorly done.
Yeah,
So
I know. Like the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like I love that cartoon. Me and my kids grew up watching that. We watched the whole thing. It was amazing. And then they
yeah,
made a movie out of it, and it was terrible. And then
yeah,
I guess the newest movie they made isn't quite as bad, but still, like it just I wanted to see it come to life in on the big screen. But I've come to the realization when like just leave it alone. It was
yeah.
fine where it was. It's a great cartoon. It's out there for people to experience. It doesn't have to be a movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny because my one of my assistant coaches is huge into it, and then he's super excited for the Netflix stuff that came out. I think the fighting's really, really cool in it. It's really childish, but I know it's also for kids. So like I'm
Yeah.
not really that mad at it. But some of the dialogue and stuff is just so poor that I'm like,
Yeah.
just fight for 45 minutes. That's all I want to see. I want to see in there and fire and rocks, and I
Hmm.
want to see that. And some of the, I'm not invested enough to know like what they've changed and all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is
Hmm.
pretty cool. But yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I get it though. It's all there's always a danger.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, Harry Potter is one of the few books that
Yeah.
come
That
from
had real
the
success. Hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I'm a
yeah, we'll
huge
see.
Douglas Adams fan too. And when they came out with uh, Hitchhiker's Guide, I mean, it was
Oh,
not great, but I still like it. But
that's a pretty fun
those
movie.
books, yeah, I'll go back and read those books over and over and over again. It's just hilarious. But all right, let's move on to our actual topic.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So, Mike wanted to. I mean, typically you're going to be the one that comes up with these, unless we have something breaking like we did with Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, tell everybody what we're talking about today.
Well, everybody has their side characters in Star Wars. Some guy that flashes on the screen, you think, "Oh, dude, that guy looks really cool." And we often want to see these characters come to life, have a bigger story. And I think that's what we're going to do today. Come
Sounds
up
good.
with we're going to talk about some of our favorite characters that are in the background, and maybe come up, give some ideas of how they could be utilized.
Yeah, I had a hard time with this.
Really?
Just like what defines it? We should have probably set some parameters, like
Yeah.
we kind of and well, you'll see with my list. Like I'm sometimes like, well, maybe that character has too much screen time, but I want more of them. You
Yeah,
know,
to me that's all it is they're like in Clone Wars, there's a ton of Jedis that have small side stories. They
yeah.
got, they had a couple shows, but
The
man,
only
who wouldn't like to see more Kit Fisto or Plo Koon or, you
I
know,
know I almost put both of those fools on my
did
list.
you?
Yeah, so I love Kit Fisto, but I was like, no.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm not gonna say that I don't have Jedi on my list. I just don't
yeah.
have those ones. So we'll get through it. So
I
um
think I stuck mostly to background characters, but
yeah. All right, I'm gonna do something on this screen. So if I drop, I'll be back as quickly as I can.
all right.
Okay. Oh, I'm still here. All right. So all right. So where are we starting?
You want to start with your list?
Well, we'll just go your
What is
number
it?
five, my number five, and we'll
Okay,
count down.
sounds good.
So
All right. So my number five. Do you have images or anything to pop up?
once you tell me who your number five is, I'll have them for you.
Okay. I think my number five was a Jawa and a what's this, like, what?
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, Tusken Raider. Yeah. Jeez, I don't know why I couldn't think about that.
So I mean, everyone,
Now,
if you're watching a Star Wars podcast, you know what Jawas and Tusken
yeah,
Raiders are. I'm just gonna go
yeah,
ahead and I'm gonna share maybe my screen here. Goodness gracious, it's like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Share screen. Here we go. Jawa. Wow. Share. So there we go. We got our Jawas. Yay.
there we
All right,
go.
Mike, tell me what you want to
So
see from this.
most when I put these guys on the list, it kind of came from when I read from a certain point of view,
I
the
was
New
going to
Hope
ask if you
edition.
had read that
Yep.
because the one that's inside
Yep.
the Suncrawler, yeah,
Yes, this is what made me think of these guys, because especially the Jawas, like the Jawas, they are scavengers. I mean, they find junk and make the most out of it, who would not want a Jawa on their starship to just fix things? You know, and like these guys have to be amazing little. They're small. They can fit into tight areas. They have amazing abilities to, reconstruct things and rehab things. I mean, it'd be great. Now, I don't know if a Jawa could really drive a show or a movie or anything like that, because you'd have to do something so that, they would speak. But it just be interesting. And then this same thing with the Tuscan Raiders. You know, same thing from that book. A real primitive individual, primitive people, just seeing them put into outer space in some crazy situations. Get a different point of view, a different feel on things. And you did get to in the Book of Boba Fett. You get a taste of Tuscan life and whatnot. But
Mm,
yeah, I mean, dude, those guys look so cool. How what pirate wouldn't want a Tuscan Raider on his
yeah.
crew?
Well, I will say, have you read that I mean, it's not canon now, but it's the Kenobi book by uh, John Jackson Miller.
No, I haven't.
All right, so one of my favorite books, but and this is why I think they could always do that as the next if they really wanted to do another Kenobi show, that
Mm,
book would really be easy to do because they would be able to it's away from Luke and it's
mm,
all about Tusken Raiders and like it's like a mystery that could unfold,
yeah,
but it has a lot of history and different things about the Tusken Raiders, and it talks about a lot of it's canon anymore. So I mean, whatever they
right,
wanted to change, they could, but it talks about the one Jedi that became a Tusken Raider a little bit, and then uh, the leader about her and just these different things, and they're it's kind of like a Native American story versus the
mm,
settlers
right.
where unfortunately I don't want to give anything away for because I think you should read it, but it's really good. It does a really good job of um I think it could be a good TV show because there's a little bit, there's action in there, there's mystery in there, nothing that would upset canon.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. So that's my number five.
All
So what's
right.
your number five?
Okay, let me look at my list. Now, I will be honest with you. My number five has three people, and then number four, the honorable mentions go to Nine Numb. That poor guy has made it through a lot of stuff. And then I had a Saw's Ventress, but she has too much screen time, and we know we're getting more.
Yeah.
I've been fascinated with this character for a long time from the Clone Wars,
Oh yeah.
Embo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's in a couple episodes, two or three maybe. I don't know how many he's really in. He's the only thing that I know, any character that I know that uses a bowcaster like Chewbacca does. He's
Mm-hmm.
got himself a trusty hound, his Anuba, named Marak, which was something I thought was interesting. Like Filoni really wanted to get that name Marak into Star Wars canon a little bit more, and he used it obviously in Ahsoka, but um, there's that scene where he's like sliding down the hill in his helmet like Chevy Chase style, and
Uh-huh.
and Chris, um, he's and if you look at his actual page too, this doesn't really say a lot about him, but he's super loyal. Once he decides he wants to do stuff, he's actually fought for both sides and things like that. Um, so uh, I think
Yeah,
he'd
he
be a
is just a cool
character.
a cool bounty hunter.
See him doing some kind of like helping the community because I think there was actually a legend story where he helps this community defend against like some other bad guys. So he
Mm-hmm.
kind of does his thing. Let me see here. Imperial Activity says, yeah, that John Jackson Miller Kenobi story was pretty good. The Tuscan chief in that story did turn up in the A New Hope, a certain point of view book. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Red Eye or Plug Eye, they called her, I
Mm.
think. So, but yeah, so Embo is going to make my number five because I just think that he looks cool. He's got the dog. He's got the bounty hunter. I feel like he's kind of trying to figure his things out, and I think he looks. I mean, he looks awesome.
Yeah.
That guy, and then he can use his
Yeah.
shield, use it as a hat. He can Captain America somebody with it if he wants
Mm-hmm.
to. All kinds of
So
stuff.
So with a character like this, what is your fix for his inability to speak basic? How do we how do you get by that in a movie or show? Does he have a sidekick or something? You
You'd
know,
have to
another
have
bounty
maybe a
hunter?
trusty. I don't know. Jawas don't speak basic.
No.
Um, I don't know. Like you want to get like
That's
real indie style film where he never says a
mm,
word, like
right.
kind of like the Silent Stranger. Like a
I
Clint
would
Eastwood
I would I would think
character.
that would be awesome.
That would
But
be pretty sick. But I think the world would hate it because they hate
yeah.
everything. But
hmm That's one thing I liked early on in the Mando seasons. Like for the first three episodes, he barely said a word, and I just
that's
loved
how
it.
it
Like
should
his
stay.
actions spoke. Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I would dig a bounty hunter movie with Embo or something that not a word is said. He
he just
speaks with
never
his
speaks.
actions.
He just yeah, he's got his Anuba, he's got his dog with him, and he never says a word. Just I don't know. I think you can make it work. He might need like a kid that understands him, or like some lost kid or something that he like protects, and that kid
Yeah.
does the narrating for you. It
hmm
would be hard to do. It would be really clever if they could do it, and I think
Yeah.
that I mean, it'd be different, but I'm sure everybody would hate it because it'd be too woke. So he didn't speak, so
Yeah. It's
I'm,
somehow it's
I don't know
woke.
if you can tell I'm getting a little frustrated with the whole. A big portion of the Star Wars fan base is
Yeah.
driving me bonkers, but
Yeah.
uh,
But
but
no,
yeah, so I
the
think that'd be cool. I think that would be a
mhm.
fun way to go.
Yeah, there's lots of space in the within the bounty hunter realm. There's so many cool bounty hunters they could do a lot with. But yeah, Embo is really cool.
All
All
right, your
right,
number
so
four.
on to my number four. Let's see. I think I had Gunji.
Oh yeah, that's a good one because I think we kind of talked about him
Yeah,
possibly showing up because he'd be old enough,
hmm and
you know,
kind of
coming
like
up.
Embo. I mean,
Yeah,
he's had his screen time here and there, a lot in the Clone Wars. A lot of those episodes in the Clone Wars when they followed the younglings or just the droids and stuff. Those episodes could be a little childish and kiddish, but I mean, Gunji was just the coolest Jedi amongst the younglings, and his lightsaber, like I told you before, I would love if I could, if I was any good at woodwork to
yeah.
to fashion that thing. It's phenomenal. But he does. Let's see. He does make an appearance in Rebels, right? They go
I
to
also see him first, I think.
what's that?
Yeah, because he's one of the younglings that were well, not rebels. He's in the Bad Batch, I think, isn't he?
Is it the Bad Batch? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause I think Omega saves him
Okay,
because he teaches her kind of how to like use the Force and stuff, or like because they're praying at
okay.
the life trees or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I
I
knew I
think
seen him
he
in
may have showed up
another
in Rebels.
garden.
I'm not gonna say he wasn't in Rebels. I just off the top of my
No,
head,
I think you're right. I just remember it was in another
see
one.
if I
But
can.
so he was back on
Oh,
um
here we go. The Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. It says appearances right there
okay.
in front of this.
Yep, right in front of us.
That's why I didn't see him.
So in the Bad Batch, he was back on the Wookiee homeworld, right? Right? Back on
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took him
So
further into the. They take him farther into uh, the woods after Omega and the Bad Batch
yeah,
Alpha. So
right. Now I was thinking about this too. When in Jedi Fallen Order, when you go to Kashyyyk, there's not any mention of Gunji. It wouldn't that timeline would be about right. That he would be there
yeah,
maybe?
well, they could be hiding him too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about the fact that they all get enslaved, I mean,
Well,
the Wookiees get crushed after
yeah.
that
This
aftermath of stuff that happens. But
hmm I was thinking the reason why he doesn't make an appearance in Fallen Order is maybe in Bad Batch when he was there after the Bad Batch leaves, he's there trying to defend Kashyyyk. Maybe he gets knocked out, like terribly injured, and is in a coma or something like that. And the the other Wookiees are hiding him, keeping him safe and whatnot. And then at some point in the future, he wakes, but he can't remember who he is, can't remember anything about himself. So this is another, like, if you're gonna make a movie where the Wookiee is the star, he can't speak common. There's that one Wookiee in one of the books that I don't think is canon that can speak, but most Wookiees can't speak basic.
Yeah,
So you have to have another character to kind of, like you were saying, like a kid or something like that, to come along with them
sidekick.
to
Yeah.
narrate. But what if a shady character comes back and convinces whoever's taking care of Gunji that, listen, I could take this guy, I can get him help, I can get him to some other Jedi's, and they can, you know, remind him of who he is. But this guy's thinking, I'm going to take him to the Inquisitors and get money for,
Mhm.
turn him in.
Yeah.
And the story that could come from that, maybe along the line, Gunji starts remembering things, and maybe along the line, this guy starts second guessing, do I really want to turn him in? And it just, I could see it playing out and being a really cool show or movie. But he's just a cool cat, man. I'd like to see more from him.
All right, Clan Brandon Lorian says Jimmy and the Mailman, Mike, two goats. So thanks, Brandon, if you're
What's
still
up,
there.
Brandon?
Appreciate you, man. So yeah, I think Gunju would be cool. I could see him coming back and they could bring him back in Ray's movie because they last forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't be too old to be in that. You just throw Jonas in that suit and bring him to life.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little bit more Kalnaka. We all I think wanted a little bit more Jedi Wookiee and
Absolutely.
acolytes. So, but yeah, I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
My next character, I don't know. You can't really do much with him. I'd like to see his story unfold. Maybe I think that's how you spell it. I might have spelled it wrong. Oh man, come on. Mine's gonna be Master Sifo-Dyas. I think I'm spelling
Okay.
it. I want to see it unfold. There's flashes of him, and here we go. That's a scary. Damn. I have night. Ah, uh,
Looks like a zombie.
yeah, it looks like the brain worms have gotten him or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I, he goes through and he does so much, and he's manipulated, and he's killed at the end. I'd like to see his story because he's good friends with the Count.
Mm-hmm.
In the book Jedi, Count Dooku was it Jedi Lost, or yeah, I think Jedi Lost, or the audio book for Count Dooku. They're growing up and going through the I want to say the academy because I'm watching the rookie and that's all they talk about. But they're going through the Jedi, going through all that, and Sifo Dyas starts to have his stuff. They give you just enough that they're helping set that story up. I just
Mm-hmm.
think he deserves because I feel like he deserves more. I feel like the story writes itself. You get him as a young kid,
Yeah.
him in the Jedi Order. You could cast him as anybody you could really cast him. He kind of has like the samurai look to him. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always look quite this scary.
Right.
Uh, I'm afraid to go anywhere else on my computer because I might drop me again.
Yeah. This site's working, so let's stick with
Yeah,
it.
so I'm just gonna leave it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that it would work pretty well. I think it would be cool. We know how it ends, unfortunately, but there
Right.
could be something. I don't know exactly what you do, why you bring it to. I just feel like it's a story that kind of needs to be told. Like his
Yeah.
sacrifice happens to him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Fills in the blanks a little bit more.
yeah, maybe
And
there's something he actually helps prevent or helps stall once he figures things out. But
mm-hmm.
he gets manipulated, and I know people don't like to see the Jedi as fallible. We've learned that through the Acolyte.
Mm.
So, but here's an example of one that's fallen and no one's screaming and crying about it.
Yeah. It could be a really good character study too, because you have an idea of what and who he is, but you don't know the whole story, and you could really go a lot of places. It'd be really interesting.
Hmm. No, I agree. I think it would be cool, and I don't know why I've always just kind of there's always these little tiny mentions. Oh, Master Sifo-Dyas, and you
Hmm.
get these little flashes of him here and there. And I think also in the Plagueis book, which again is not canon, but
Yeah.
you get a little flash of him. He's just kind of in the background of those, and just like, oh my gosh, like let's flush that character out a little bit more. I think it'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my what is that number? That's number 4.
4. Yep.
All right,
So
what
my
do you
number
got?
3 is Wedge Antilles.
Oh, there we go. I spelled it right. Yep. Whoa, why has he got? That's
Yeah, I'll
Captain
just Captain
Achilles.
Antilles.
Yeah, here we go. There's Wedge.
There's Wedge.
Oh, he's a
Yeah,
handsome.
buddy.
We got him in
So,
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope. I don't know why I had him out of order like that. Rise of Skywalker. They paid him enough money to bring him back for
mhm,
his one line. And of course, he's in Star Wars Rebels.
yep. So, like Wedge, he could easily be in the um the X-wing movie, whatever that was that they were
Mm.
talking about coming out with.
Supposedly that's back on the docket, but
Yeah.
who knows?
So, I mean, there's
Rogue
always,
Squadron.
and he's a character too. You don't have to get the original actor. Enough people know the name and don't necessarily associate the face that I think you could pretty seamlessly replace him. Not like Han Solo, it was a
Yeah.
little rough, but Wedge you could do that. And I just think he is in I don't think they're canon, but the Aftermath books or whatever.
Oh, they're
He has a
canon. Yeah.
part in those. Okay. He has a
Yeah.
part in those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like smooching on uh
Uh-huh.
what's his name's mommy.
So I've
You
read the
know,
first 2 of those books. I haven't
yeah.
got the third one because it
Yeah,
wasn't on my.
I think that the comic book series that's coming out, the Jakku is gonna I think I mean, Gallius Rax, I think is on the front of that comic.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are canon.
Cool.
Those are like the first canon books.
Yeah.
And Chuck Wendig just went down in flames because
Yeah.
he said what he was thinking to people. It didn't go well.
But
But
yeah, I mean,
a little bit
I
more.
think you could make an interesting movie out of Wedge.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe set it a little farther in the future. Maybe the New Order has um, a base hidden somewhere, and Wedge is out of the game. He's a test pilot now, but they need him back. They need him to train these young rookies to get in there and strike this New Order base. You know,
The
flying
Top
some
Gun,
new
West Antilles.
yes, flying some newfangled aircraft. They got to fly in under the sensors.
Yeah,
Missing
right.
all the turbo cannons. Then you got to go up over the canyon and get down the other side, drop your bombs, and get out of there before they get you. And of course they crash, and for some reason there's an X-wing there, and they
Something that
escape in
takes
the
off.
X-wings.
He was a former TIE fighter pilot, so if they had some ties laying around, he could take them.
Hmm. So
So, but yeah,
you might have heard this story somewhere else, but
yeah. I think he'd be great for that lead.
yeah,
I love that whole. I'm still convinced that group of not bounty hunters, but like that group of
that group,
people that
yeah.
are. I just think that would be such a great
Oh
TV
yeah, it
show.
would
And you have
definitely.
and you have the actress from Mon Mothma right now. Like you could use
Hmm.
her, and oh my
Hmm.
gosh, good.
Yeah,
It has
I
everything, it has different kinds of characters. It's a little bit some aliens. It's got like, oh man, it would be so good.
yeah, I listened to those books a couple years back. Like I have the one library app that lets you stream books or
Yeah,
get books from your local library, but they don't have the third book. So I've been
no,
waiting forever to read the third.
that is weird. All right,
So you're
um,
number 3, sir.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find him. We'll see. Come on, where is he? Not gonna. Is this him? I don't think that's him. Let me see if I click on this kid. There he is. Timmery Blag. All right, so
All
also known
right.
as Broom Boy. So he's the kid at the end of the Last Jedi that walks out and he reaches his hand out and the broom comes to him.
Mm,
Right. So it's kind of like, there's more people out there. This is like if this kid doesn't show up in the Ray movie,
Yeah,
what a missed opportunity.
absolutely.
Like yeah, I was inspired by Finn and Rose when I saw what they did, and they stood up to the bad guys, and it made me
Mhm.
want to not hide in the shadows. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. And he shows up in Ray's Academy,
Yeah.
uh, or whatever, however it's going to do, or he could have a kind of a fun adventure getting off Canto Bite, or he saves some people. I don't know. You could do all kinds of fun things with him.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Actually, I mean,
you could pick it up at any point in his life. You could pick it up
oh
way
yeah,
down the line when he is a Jedi. You could pick it up as
you
he's
could
training
you
for a Jedi. You could on his way to
could
becoming a Jedi. So many different
at the end of the Last
opportunities with this
Jedi,
guy.
yeah, you could just be like, all right, this opens up, and he reaches out for the broom and flash forward a few years, so you know who that kid is without you don't have to say anything
Hmm.
else. The
Nope.
opening scene is he just reaches out, grabs that broom from behind. He's looking off
Yeah.
into space, and then his story just kicks off, and you can have your actors or whatever you want, however you want to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Ray movies like 20 years down the road, 25 years down the road. So this kid's
Something like that.
probably in his 40s,
25,
maybe.
20, 28.
Yeah,
Oh, you
something
think
like
he's at?
that. Because he's probably like what? Like I'm terrible with kids' ages. So what's this kid look like? He's
Yeah.
like 9, maybe. I
I'd
don't know.
say 8 to 10,
Okay, so
something like
yeah,
that,
so
maybe.
35, he'd be all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got his skills kind of honed from being on the streets, and then
Hmm.
and then they're fighting over his soul, like he's gonna crack and go to the dark side because that's the easy path.
Mm.
Where he's gonna bring him
Yep.
back, you know.
Yeah, and he's a perfect kind of new Jedi. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't raised in the Jedi temple from a an infant. He's a kid. He's already has some street smarts, has some life experience behind him.
Like Ray.
Yeah, the new Jedi. Yeah, that's a great pull, man.
So yeah, I don't know why. Not a huge fan of that movie. I think
Hmm.
this kid has tons of potential.
Heck
I
yeah.
love to see, and I know this sounds weird because I didn't really care for like I don't feel like The Last Jedi really fits those other two movies. I didn't really
Hmm.
enjoy it when I was seeing it original. Beautiful movie,
Yeah.
well
Yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah.
Let's let
Hmm.
Ryan Johnson come back and do a trilogy about this kid, him growing
Yeah.
up. Get him away from Skywalkers,
Yep.
and he can do whatever he can subvert expectations all he wants when there are none.
Yep.
So,
No, that'd be great. That'd be great.
all right. What's your number two?
Number two is Momanda Dunn,
Oh,
Hammerhead.
Hammerhead. I don't know how I knew that.
Now, do you remember this guy?
Oh yeah, because we called him
Oh yeah.
Hammerhead.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know. I cannot remember if I had his action figure
He had
because
like the bling. He had like
I
the
didn't have a
bling.
lot of action figures, but
No.
if I had any, there were these third-rate characters, the ones from the back that are in the background.
Yeah. No, I get
So,
it.
but
I'll
yeah,
bring
I
it.
mean, I just remember seeing him for the first time. One of the first aliens, that jumps out at you. Just such a cool looking dude. And I guess he was banished to Tatooine. Is that right?
The stories are on here. Sometimes they're not. Says an exile from Ethor, Momon
Hmm.
Adon was a rebel sympathizer who cultivated a hidden garden in the mountains south of Mos Eisley. Nadon was in the Mos Eisley cantina when Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived in search of a pilot who would take them to Alderaan without it. Yeah, so he looks like his evil monster, but
Hmm.
he's kicked out for being a rebel sympathizer, and then he hides a garden.
Yeah,
So he
occasionally. Yeah, he has a garden. He's been known to, I guess, help hide rebels and help them and whatnot. And I think we've had Ithorians in Clone Wars and whatnot, I believe, once or twice.
well, and then
And I
they had
think,
they had the major domo or whatever, the magistrate for Boba Fett was
okay,
Ithorian
right. And I think he has some sort of
speaker
translator or
box.
something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, so you could actually have this character lead a movie or whatever because he can actually speak. But yeah, I just like he's such a cool character, and from the original movie, I just thought what a great character he'd be to explore. In that cantina when it went down. You know what I mean?
mm.
sees a lightsaber come out of nowhere and slice off an arm, and you know he's already sympathizing with the rebels, so he kind of knows like, oh, this is a big deal. And I think like it could be a really cool movie where maybe a mother has a force sensitive child
Oh, it could be a
at
member of
this
the
time.
past.
Yeah, and she's trying to find a way to, get her child to safety. She hears about the lightsaber that was revealed on Tatooine. She knows a Jedi was there. Maybe she travels to Tatooine and is trying to find help for her kid. And there's Mom Nadun, takes the kid to his garden, and just, an adventure ensues from there.
It'd
Maybe
be kind of cool too.
Moma's
He has no special talents or anything. He just
right,
surviving. Be
right.
like, remember that
Maybe
Three
he's
Puma
yeah,
movie?
yeah.
He's just getting.
I mean, he's like the Ithorians. I guess I think it said he was selling. He got banished there because he was selling Ithorian agricultural secrets or something like that. And he's, cultivating a garden. So he kind of seems to me like a guy who might be in touch with nature, or maybe in touch with the force.
Yeah,
So maybe not a force user, but, in touch with
more
the force in
sensitive.
some way. And I just, he looks like a guy who maybe is a pro with the bow staff. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. He does kind of have
So
that
yeah,
vibe.
maybe he could do some butt kicking. But yeah, I mean, just he'd just be a cool character to flesh out and, explore.
Yeah, I
So,
think it would be good. I think it would be good because you could, yeah, he could talk, he could do, all
mm-hmm.
that stuff. Be like, if it was like a human kid he's saving, that kid could be like afraid of him at first, and then you realize
Mm-hmm.
like almost like the Home Alone old man from Home Alone, where it's like you're
Yeah.
terrified of him, but in the end he's like, he's the good guy, just
Yep.
misunderstood. I think that'd
Mm-hmm.
be all right. So that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's mine, and I was actually watching this movie last night because it's my go-to when I'm in a mood. I hadn't watched anything Star Wars since Acolyte, so Aaron Kellyman's portrayal of Emphas Nest. I just remember when Emphas took her helmet. Well, I thought it was a he. I think we all did. Takes off the helmet, and it's Aaron Kellyman, and she's where is they there like this young girl who I
Yeah.
met her in real life. The sweetest girl. There was a special needs kid who was going to ask her to take her to the prom in front of me, and I was
Oh.
able to get to her manager. And I was like, "Hey, this kid's just heads up." And she
Mm-hmm.
handled it so beautifully. I was like, "That is
Oh.
awesome."
That is
And
awesome.
she's really cool. But as a character herself, there is so much.
Yeah.
Is she working with? Is she working with? Saw Gerrera. Where does she draw the line? Is she going to do things like Saw Gerrera? Is she doing things the right way? You
Mm-hmm.
know, all this potential, like, obviously they have this great backstory about what happens to their people, how this mantle is passed down. You could have her now that she's a little bit older. You could have her with a child, and she wants to maybe get her kid away from that, but duty calls, and it's in the
Yeah.
genes,
Yeah.
helps out. But I mean, Erin Kellyman's still young enough to pull that character off. She still looks super young, like she's still that young lady. I think
Yeah.
this would be cool, and you could even set this in. You could even have this tied in with Solo if you wanted to. Like you could have her story going the same time Solo's going, or
Mm-hmm.
even like Rogue One, or like they help out somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
You could mix her and the Cloud Riders any way you wanted to.
Right.
Would make sense. You can give them their own story. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they go help a planet. Doesn't have to be like this earth-shattering star. Jumping from planet to planet. Could be on one planet. Things happen. Whatever. Magnificent Seven type. Uh,
Right. Right.
but
Right. Right.
more done than the remake of the Magnificent, or the yeah,
Yeah.
mess that
Yeah.
they
That would
made.
be. No, that's another good pull, man.
One of my favorites. And I just remember, like, I don't get surprised very often in shows. It drives Molly crazy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, oh, this person's gonna do that, or this person's gonna do that, and I've tried not to like spoil things anymore. But when she took off the helmet, I was like, holy rip, and I'm like, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
So
didn't. I mean, Solo's a movie I didn't even consider. I don't think back to it very often. I know it's one of your favorites, but I think I've
It's
only
my
seen it like
favorite.
twice in my life. But
And
yeah, that's
I just realized they mentioned Doc Ondar in it, and I didn't even realize that the
oh
character
yeah.
that's in, he's an Ithorian
Mhm.
antiquities collector that they have. When you go to Galaxy's Edge, he's got his store
Yeah.
wrapped in that, and I
Hmm.
never caught that reference before. I was like, "Wait, what did he just say?" And
That's awesome.
rewound, like, "Oh, Doc Ondar was there." But they don't ever show him. They don't show an Ithorian, but I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty cool. They slipped that in there.
that Easter egg in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So, but yeah, I think Emphasis Nest would be a good one. And I won't lie to you, I may or may not have someone else from Solo coming up. So,
All right. So moving on to my last one here. It's I'm not sure if I know how to pronounce it right, but Sidon Ithano.
oh, hang on. Oh,
Sidon.
Sidon.
Yep. Ithano.
We are supposed to have this
Look at that
actor
dude.
possibly come on our show soon.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
So
Details.
yeah, go ahead with the details.
All right. So that's actually the guy's name who plays him is Details.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so variously known as the Crimson Corsair, the Blood Buccaneer, those are great nicknames, and the Red
Hmm.
Raider. Sidon Ithano is the captain of the pirate ship Mason Martinet. A Delphinian, Ithano keeps his face concealed behind the red Kalish helmet. The Crimson Corsair rarely speaks. There we go. Leaving and talking to his first mate, so you could have some kind of funny, quirky first mate going on there.
Hmm.
Quiggold, but his exploits speak for themselves. Spacers whisper of his deeds in the lost clusters on Adafra 7 and in Phenoma Sea of Sand, to name just a few adventures. I mean, these guys are like pretty well fleshed out for being in the show for about zero point 0.2 seconds.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
and the
He's got
character
quite a
actor,
backstory.
yeah, the character and the guy in there plays a lot of Star Wars characters.
Oh yeah.
Really gets his face seen, but he
Yeah.
he's plays a lot of characters. So
Well, this guy, somewhere I saw that he might be of the race that uh, Grievous is. You can
oh
kind of see it with the helmet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That maybe he is of Grievous's race. Now, Grievous, is mostly android now, but this dude might come from where Grievous, when Grievous was just a flesh and blood thing, from, be that same race.
Well,
I don't know
Grievous
where I
is
saw
almost on
that,
my
but
list, so
what's that?
Grievous almost got put as number 5 because I want to know what
Oh, yeah.
happens. So
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, so like this guy, if he's of Grievous's race, and he looks like a bad guy, and he is a pirate, but maybe he's not a complete bad guy. Maybe he wants to clear his people's names because of the all the craziness that Grievous has wrought. Maybe he's going and trying to atone for some of Grievous's sin. Maybe he goes on a mission and he's up against somebody and he's got him dead to rights. The guy pulls out a lightsaber, trying to pretend, I'm a Jedi, but he shoots him anyways, and the
oh
guy
no.
doesn't deflect the bolt, and he goes over and he's searching the corpse, finds the lightsaber, takes the lightsaber for himself, and finds a data pad, and he's going through the data pad, and in the data pad are all these Jedi with their lightsabers and details of where these lightsabers are, who has them now, where the lightsabers are at, and he comes to realize these are all the Jedi that Grievous killed. And you could
Uh,
make a series out of this where week to week he's going, following the data pad, going and finding the next lightsaber that Grievous took from some Jedi. Getting that lightsaber and returning it to the next of kin or whatever. I just thought, man, that would be so cool.
story, yeah, I'd like that. Imperial Activity says Grievous was a Kalish, not a Delphinian, but you can still do it. You can still have the connection or whatever. You could easily
Hmm.
still do that story, but yeah, that's
Yeah, you can
that-
always change things. I just like you can kind of see it in his helmet. He's kind of has that face of
yes,
Grievous, you know. And
yeah,
of course it's a helmet, but whatever. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
I
don't know. That'd
just
be cool.
somewhere I saw that and I just the wheels started turning and I just thought, oh man, that would be such a cool series because you know Grievous carries what four lightsabers at a time, but you know he's got a
Yeah.
collection.
Oh yeah, he has a bunch of them inside of his cloak
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, I would be cool. I know. I'm pretty sure they had. They always have more plans to do things with characters, but and again, this would have to be flashbacks for me for my last number one. But I love this guy, Rio Durant. I would like to see.
This is the dude you put on the title card, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. I put
Nice.
Rio on there, so I put Rio. I don't know why I've always been. As soon as I saw this movie, I don't know if it's like John Favreau's voice.
Mhm.
I think Katie Cartwheel is the actress that's actually green screen or is in the green suit that plays him. Um, but I love his attitude. He's just so fun. He kind of reminds you of Greasy Money from
Yes.
Grease
Jedi
from
Survivor and
Shadow
yeah, Fallen
Survivor. I mean,
Order.
I'm not a forearmist. I'm not being
Right.
just because they both have forearms. Everyone with forearms does not look alike. Okay. Um, but um, I think that it would be awesome. Just his spirit,
Yeah.
um, his jovialness, and of course, he dies kind of sadly. But I've always thought that that whole crew, I'd love to see some stuff before they get tied up with Han,
Yeah.
um, or maybe they bury him, they think he's dead, and he kind of crawls out of there. I mean, it's happened with Boba Fett. Why not him? But anyways, flashbacks to him growing up. I don't know. I just think it would be. I just want to see more Arginians in Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's funny. Like it's funny they everybody wanted to see a solo movie to see, Han meet Chewie and some of the exploits, that they had previous to the trilogy's kicking off. But now you're going back to yeah, I'd like to see the crew before they were the crew. Let's go back a little farther.
well, I don't.
See
I
some of the
just feel
guys
like,
that
man, like the actors and all the actors that they had with Thandie Newton, who played
Mhm.
Val. Of course, you've got Woody Harrelson as Beckett. I mean, I don't know if they realized like how strong of actors they had as this
Right.
crew,
Yeah.
and you could bring in some other people. Hell, there Embo could be part of this group if you wanted them to be. But uh, yeah, so I would love to see that. I think it's cool. I think there's more stories to tell. Obviously,
Heck yeah.
Rio and Val didn't, and then of course Beckett at the end. But um, I don't know. I just intrigued if maybe he has kids. Whatever. Like you could do something fun with them. I think
Yeah.
this. I think a character like that could carry a movie,
Oh, heck
not
yeah.
a sidekick.
Hmm.
Uh, you know. So I don't know. I just always want more Rio
Yeah.
Durant. So,
Nice. Yeah,
but
it's funny here. Like we have barely scratched the surface of
oh yeah,
the background of Star Wars. Like, and it's like neither of us had the same anything on our list.
no,
10
yeah.
different 10 different we didn't really collaborate beforehand. We just
Mhm.
came up with 10 different characters. And there's 100 different characters that are out there that could be fleshed out and I'm sure everybody has their favorites.
Yeah, well,
It's
absolutely.
just it's such a big sandbox and so many stories, so many sandcastles could be built in it, man.
Agreed, 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 agreed. Yeah, I think it's a fun an idea to get to talk about and just,
Hmm.
it's, you get the, like you said, to get these characters that you're kind of intrigued by and who's this and what's that. I mean, Constable Zuvio from, The Force Awakens and other
Yeah,
characters, and I know I picked some characters that, meet their end, but I feel like you could flesh out some stories or you could tell
for
even
sure.
those types of characters. Because I mean, I don't think
Hmm.
we've seen any Ardinians since.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
I
and the
love
thing
that
like
character.
the thing is some artists put in a ton of work, creating these characters
Mhm.
for them just to have just these short little
Oh,
maybe a
yeah.
second or two of screen time,
Oh,
and
yeah. We at Celebration Chicago, I want to see this creatures exhibit or panel, and like Six Eyes. The whole gambling, uh, the whole Sabat game. Like Six
hmm
Eyes
hmm
had like 17 or 20 servos in his eyes, so they could all move.
yeah,
We could just move their head and the eyes. We could go all over the place and do crazy
hmm
things. And then he was in the movie for like 30 seconds.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Some of
bonkers
these
when folks
some
go
of these
into.
characters deserve their story. I
Yeah,
think we've
I think
proven it here tonight.
that'd be a fun. That'd be a fun show where every week it was a different character getting like a little backstory or like where
Yeah.
are they now kind of thing. I mean,
hmm
obviously you have to do some backstories on some of the characters that died, but how did Rio end up with Beckett and Val, or you know, tell any of the stories that we talked about? It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So,
For sure.
all right.
Well,
Well,
hey, quick shout out to Crafting on Ilum. Got my new tea.
oh,
Yeah, baby.
nice. I wondered, like, I was looking at your shirt just now. I hadn't
Yep.
even, I've been looking at my screen most of the time doing this, and I was like, what's on his shirt? And
Yep.
so,
Just got
very
that
cool.
this week.
Very cool. Very cool. I want her to make some Balin Skull stuff so I can get
Yeah.
some of that from her. I was going to put him on my list, of course, but there's more
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
I try to keep anybody off that I knew was coming. That's why I end up taking Asajj off. But I know
Yeah.
there's more coming, or I hope there's more coming. So,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. There's definitely way more you can delve into.
yeah,
So many good characters out there.
but,
So this was fun, man.
yeah, good times. I got to get up pretty early, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to sign off here because tomorrow's gonna be another hot day in Kansas. So we'll probably hit. I'm thinking it's 95. Let me look real quick here. It's bonkers. Let's see, 10 day. Well, tomorrow 92. Maybe it'll be
Hmm.
a little cooler. I can wear a
Yeah, it's only
sweater.
supposed to be 90 here.
Yeah. So watch out.
Yep.
But all right. So
All right, buddy. Good
yeah,
time. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight.
yeah,
Make sure you hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff on there. Follow Explore the Force. Check out the podcast if you haven't already. So many good interviews on there, plus other great stuff. Hit it up.
yeah. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Well, Jack and I will be. Hopefully, Jack will be playing Jedi or not Jedi Survivor. I got that in my brain. We'll be playing
Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws, and I'll get some guilt-free time to play it, so I can really take it in, and we'll be able to bring you guys our thoughts and our concerns about the game, and of course what everyone else is saying about it as well. So
Yeah,
we'll see everyone next week, and Mike will see you next Tuesday.
absolutely. May the
All right,
Force be with you.
and with you. There we go.